Guys, so we thought it's high time to make a video on electrolytes. Why do we need these kind of minerals? Who needs them? What makes Quantum Life's electrolyte different to the commercial ones? And what does hydration actually require?
Okay, so what is hydration? Hydration is not drinking water. It's got nothing to do with drinking water. It's got to do with the correct minerals in the body that hold the moisture in the body, as well as structuring the water correctly so that the cellular communication is correct and the mitochondrial function is correct. When you talk about structured water, in terms of the mitochondria, they work like batteries. So if the electrolytes in the battery are not correct, the battery doesn't work. So there's an exclusion zone, there's charge separation, there's all kinds of activities that go on inside of mitochondria and inside the cells that hinge on correct mineralization or the correct mineral balance.
Okay, so we're looking at mitochondrial charge that's required for function.
Yes.
Why is drinking water not the same as hydrating your cells?
Well, most of the water sources that we have or we get or that are available to us are dead water. They're devoid of minerals. There's lots of chlorines and chemicals and all kinds of things in the water, even in the bottled water, the spring water. Anything that comes in a commercial manner is not the same as what you would find in nature, which would be vortexed through the earth, where it's charged and picks up electrons, picks up scalar energy, picks up the correct mineral balance. So that's live water. And what happens when you drink dead water is osmotically, as it goes through the body, it then takes minerals from a high concentration into a low concentration. It's actually drawing minerals out of the body that goes through the kidneys and then out of the body. So the more dead water you drink, the more dehydrated you get. So you have to maintain that level of water all the time to not feel thirsty, first of all, but at the same time you're depleting yourself of minerals, and a mineral deficiency can often lead to symptoms and illnesses, various illnesses, or the beginnings of these things. So dead water is basically dehydrating you. It's not benefiting you in any way.
So in the same way, anything you drink, coffee or tea or any cool drink or even fruit juice, could be dehydrating.
That's correct.
Yeah. Because as you say, when it doesn't contain added minerals, it's going to actually draw the minerals out that is currently in your body.
Yes. And
dehydrate you or demineralize you even further.
Yeah, for instance, if you just look at coffee's great, it's not bad for you, but coffee specifically pushes magnesium out of the body, and that creates a problem on its own. So if you are doing anything, in some respects you get beverages and so on that are processed and whatever, these things come with a very high deuterium content, which is a heavy hydrogen isotope. Those alone destroy the mitochondrial function. They literally break the mitochondria. They kill them. So that's on the one side. But any fluids that you take in that have a base of dead water will do the same thing. So if you're going to be doing coffee, tea, whatever it is that you're drinking, even if you're having a beer or a glass of wine, just pop a bit of electrolyte under your tongue so that your body can at least absorb some minerals in the process, or if you don't mind putting it in the drink itself, put it in there.
So where you could avoid some toxicity by not using tap water but mineral water, even mineral water does actually not have enough minerals.
No.
So only if you were to drink directly from a stream, a clean mountain stream, you actually get the right mineral content in your water.
Correct. So
I've learned that the commercial electrolytes is not going to provide you what you need.
No, right.
Typically, the commercial electrolytes contain potassium, calcium, magnesium together, which shows that there's not an understanding of mineral function in the body and interactions between minerals. So we shouldn't be taking magnesium during the day like that. It should be taken away from food, a couple of hours away from food, last thing at night. You don't want to be taking calcium and magnesium together. You don't want to be taking potassium and magnesium together.
No.
So what is the answer to that?
Okay, so unfortunately, these clever people that put these things together, so we have nature intervening in our conversation. The people that put these things together think, okay, well, we got to throw all these minerals in. And what they're not understanding is that ionically and cationically, molecules and atoms and these minerals have appetites. So they, like calcium and magnesium, will cancel each other out completely. So that's neutralized. So it's useless. It becomes toxic to the body. So the body just pushes it out. So if you have all of these counteractive things inside an electrolyte, the body will utilize some of it, but it won't utilize all of it. And then the body starts seeing it as, the kidneys will work overtime to get rid of it because it's not useful. So if you have counteractive minerals in the electrolyte, it's useless. And then what they do is they put glucose and sucrose and all these funny
or sweeteners
and colorants and flavorants and things into these things, which are also not natural. So technically what you're doing is you're basically making yourself thirsty. Like people drink Energate and like within 5 minutes they're like, I'm thirsty, you know. So yeah, what I try to do is try to get the electrolytes as close to nature as possible in terms of how the earth would deal with it. Victor Schauberger's work on water vortexing and mineralization and so on, as well as Gerald Pollack's work on water, speaks specifically to how nature deals with water and makes it alive. So when I formulate electrolytes, I look at all of these things in terms of how does one structure it so that it doesn't damage the body, that the body can actually receive it the way it would from a mountain stream.
Okay. And then you add some processes to your electrolyte to make it really special, and you also have a couple of versions that's more specific to what someone is experiencing.
Yes. One of the things that I do is I electropolarize these electrolytes. So the hydrophilic nature of, for instance, potassium and sodium, or salt, is that it has a very small component of water still within the crystal. And when you electropolarize these, they draw magnetism and electrons into that space. So they carry that charge inside the electrolyte. And when you put that into water, it self-vortexes, it turns the water live, it makes it structured, and makes it more available to the human body. That's one key component. Obviously, looking at the specific balances of minerals based on, let's say, for instance, one consult will have high blood pressure, another will have low blood pressure. There's various different formulations that will cater to deficiencies and or needs of the body. And all these specific formulas will be then designed accordingly to cater to those, if you want to call them symptoms. They're not really symptoms, but deficiencies.
Okay, I think that's very exciting. It's part of our base protocol.
Yes.
So there's a sports formula, a calcium dysregulation formula.
Yeah, the Hydrastat, which is a generic.
Spectrum formula.
Spectrum formula is very specific to brain chemistry and a lot of neurological issues. There's an inflammatory formula as well, which helps with inflammation. And then a couple of the other patches which I mix in between is a redox potential, or what I call a redox booster. A redox booster which provides specific minerals which cater to mitochondrial energy, and then other components like a detox patch which I put in help the body to detox either lymphatically or lymphatically through the fluid systems. So yeah, it depends. One can create a lot of sort of standard generics, but these can be specifically bespoke or custom built to each patient, depending on what their requirements are.
I would say results speak for themselves when the clients that run out
Oh,
start
they-
panicking.
Yeah, they do that.
Panicking to refill their electrolytes.
Yes, but specifically the people who are doing sports, or the high end sports people, they rely heavily on pre and post workout recovery. Specifically things like your fascia hydration in terms of cramping, and muscle recovery in terms of the lactic acid and being stiff and those kinds of things. If you have the correct mineral balance and hydration structures in place, you can do a marathon and recover 5 times faster than you would normally. So yeah, it depends, on the requirements, but most people generally benefit greatly from it, because all cellular communication, all membranous body osmotics, everything, the hydraulic system, everything in the body runs on a fourth state gel type system, except for the blood, of course, which is quite fluid. But everything in the body is fourth state gel. So what does that mean? It means it's correctly structured. So it's held in a plasma format, not or like a gel format, not actually water. And what keeps it in that structure is the charge separation based on the mineral balance inside those environments. So it's almost like a little bit of jelly, if you want to call it that. But that's technically what you want to try and achieve, is to put the minerals into the body that are correct to keep that state in a fourth state, or a gel, if you want to call it that.
Excellent.
So, anything else
Happy
we
with
need?
that.
Anything else we need to know about electrolytes?
I think the important take home is that electrolytes, or the right minerals, are required for your mitochondrial charge, for that battery to flow, and that hydration is not dependent on liquid, but actually on the right mineral content. Hope that helps you guys.